going to record what I'm saying and I'll send you the recording, right? Because
Fabulous. To stop me writing notes.
okay, I'm just going to say these two things again, right? So you've got it on the recording. So one
Okay.
is you don't have to accept the pseudonym offered by Pragmatic Tracker. You can make that whatever you want, the client's name or some other system that's, you know, it might be protecting their identity in some way, but it's meaningful to you. Otherwise, it's just sort of gobbledygook, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
The second thing is don't worry about verifying phone numbers. You don't have to worry about that, but you must verify the email address. So what I did here, in fact, let me just undo it so I can show it to you again. So it was like that, right?
Remember to share your screen. I can't see your screen.
Oh,
Sorry. I can't see your screen at the moment.
that would help. Right, got it?
Yeah, fantastic.
So once again, pseudonym, you can overwrite it in there, make it the name of the client or whatever you want.
Yeah.
Don't worry about verifying an email address. But here now, when you first create a client, there's no little white box, right?
Yeah.
If I save that record and then I go back to profile to open again. Come on. Now the little square box is there, right?
Oh, okay.
So what I was saying is if you're absolutely sure you've captured the correct email address for the client, you can verify it yourself by just ticking the little box there, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Now that turns green. Unless that's turned green, you're not going to be able to communicate with the client, right? By email. It won't work. So now it's green. You can tick that. And what I was saying is if you tick auto, you see at the moment they're grayed out down here.
Yeah.
But if you tick auto, they become white and black. And you can now choose reminder too. What that means is if you create an appointment for a client next week, they will get a reminder 3 days before the appointment automatically by email to that address to say, remember your appointment in such and such time with Shelley-Ann. And then 1 day before the appointment, they'll get another reminder with a link to the questionnaires to fill in.
Okay.
Right? So that's one aspect of it. So this is your main problem, to be honest, because once you've done that, you can save that record. Now, you said you were trying to get feedback about a session, weren't you?
Yeah, because they all promised feedback. So to be fair, the first one, she filled in the feedback form while I was there, but I thought, I don't know if that's honest feedback because it was kind of like a just tick, 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 tick thing, you know, just because I was there. So I thought maybe perhaps I should have just said to her, I'll send it to you and let you fill it in. So I'd like some proper feedback because none of them have come back to me.
Right. Okay.
Even though I've messaged them. So I just want to hear and know what I'm doing wrong or what I've done right.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not doing anything wrong. I'm sure you're fine. I think my advice to you is not to worry about these cases, right? These are your first few cases in here. Don't worry about that because the sort of horse is bolted, you know, because the feedback is usually supposed to be close to when the session actually happened, you know?
Yeah.
So I would think don't worry about that. And you can do it for your next clients going forward, you know?
Yeah.
Now with this first one, I don't think they filled in a core 10 anyway, did they? Let me look on the chart and oh yeah, they did. So what's that there? That's a core 10, is it? No, it wasn't a core 10, it was something else.
So Bill, just tell me, are they supposed to fill in all of these or just the ones that
No, keep it simple. What I recommended when you signed up, I sent you a lot of information, and if you try and find that email because it's very helpful to read through that very carefully, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
What I recommend is to use the PRN 14 and core 10 at your first appointment.
Yeah.
And then use the core 10 at every appointment until your last appointment, and then do the PRN 14 and the core 10 again.
Okay.
So that would be a nice simple formula. use the PRN14 rather than the ENA. It's a much better measure.
Okay.
Works much better, right? So I would recommend just keep it simple like that, you know? So that score isn't showing up here because you use the ENA and the primary measure is chosen as the core 10. And you're better off to keep your primary measure as core 10. So that's fine. Now I'm going to look at the next case, right?
Yeah.
Now you can see they've got the score of core 10. That's good there. So once again, let me show you in here. Right, that's verified. So you've done that. You've done that now since I told you about it, right?
Yeah.
And so let's look at the other case, this guy. And let's check profile here. And that isn't done, right? So again, I'm going to assume you've got the right email address there. Tick, tick. Do you want him on auto reminders?
Yes, please.
Okay, so like that. So that's your formula, right? You must make this. Now, when you first create a new client, this little square won't appear. You have to save the record first, then you go back to profile, and then the little square is there, right?
Okay.
Because the other thing you can do, you see, if an email isn't verified, you can click on that tick and it'll send an email verification out to the client. But all that happens then is they tell you, yes, that's me, I've got it. And you've got to go in and tick that little square box to verify it, right?
Oh, okay.
That's the bit you've been missing, right?
Yeah.
When you've got that done, that session there, if I click on it, if I scroll down, they filled out the measures anyway, and it says here measures complete, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to one of those other cases. Let's say this one that wasn't in, I'm just going to do a pretend session, right? So if I go click to add session here.
Yeah.
Sorry, my internet seems very slow. Come on. Hurry up. There we go. So you could say if there was an appointment, let's say next week, May the 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Just take it like that. May the 3rd. Now, do you see, automatically it's saying, look, 3 days before. Oh, we want to change that quickly. Oh, God. Because it'll go out to him. No. Leave that. Right, let me do it again for a further out session. Right, so we'll make that May the 17th. That'll be safe. Now you see, May the 17th, so the first reminder goes out May the 14th, the second one May the 16th. You can override that, you could make it different, but that would automatically send out reminders, right?
Yeah.
But if you create that session, oh, I forgot to choose a type of session. Therapy session. Now, if I go to that May the 17th appointment,
Yeah.
I click on it and scroll down here, you can see I can overwrite the automatic. You can go send, and if I ticked OK, that would push an email straight out to the client now, right?
Yeah.
So at any time you can override that automatic. But what you were saying was you couldn't send them because this was grayed out. But it was grayed out because because the date was more than 6 days since the appointment, you see?
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
why. But you can see they could be sent out, right?
Yeah.
Just going to cancel out that appointment because you don't have a real appointment, right? I'm just canceling it out. But they're the main points, right?
Yeah.
Delete that session. Okay, so that's just back to how it was before, right? What I would recommend, Shelley-Ann, is to create a client, make yourself a client of yourself, right?
Yeah.
call it SAD test or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And practice working with sending measures out so you get very familiar with the system, because then you won't, you'll if you make a mistake, you'll make it just with yourself, not with a real client.
Yeah.
And then you can always soft delete that client, you can SAD test, soft delete it, and then if you need to, you can restore it anytime by clicking on it and just go restore. And then you've always got a client to practice with, right? That's one thing to be aware of. The other thing is, whatever page you're on, if you click on help, it will open up a help page directly related to the page you're on. And there's lots of explanation and video material. So you shouldn't really get stuck. So all those problems you were having, if you'd clicked on the relevant bit, you'd find the problem, the bit that would explain about it for you.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I find it a bit cumbersome because I wasn't sure what to do, because in the first hour, you have the phone call before, and then you have the first session. Well, what happened in all three of those sessions is that they just went, and this is happening to me, and this is happening to me. And it was like, oh, I've got to fill in these forms type thing.
Yeah,
So
that's why it's much better to get them filled in before they come.
Yeah. Right.
So if you're sending a personal email to the client about a session, you can send that link, that I just showed you there. Let me just add this again to show you this again. Make sure you know this. So I'm pretending again that we're making an appointment for this guy in May. And then create, right?
Yeah.
When appointment is created, you can do the auto, but if you want to be absolutely sure the client gets the questionnaires, if you click on send and you copy that address there to your clipboard,
Yeah,
right, and then click cancel, and then you can go to your email and compose your email and just paste that link into the email. Just say, dear John, looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday. It would be really helpful before you come if you could take a few minutes to fill in these brief questionnaires.
Yeah.
You have much more chance of getting them to do it actually than even with the auto function,
Yeah, excellent.
And you have a better chance like that, Is that okay?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you
So
for
that
taking
gives you the idea. I just want to go back and cancel that out again now before I forget about it. Right. Go on, delete. Okay, so I think they're your main things, but please do use the help. And also, Shelley-Ann, if you go back to the original email, the sign-up email you got from me, there's links to a load of training material in there. And you can take it off one little bit at a time,
Yeah.
But do use the help, because whatever page you're on, like if I'm on the client list page, and if I go to help, it takes me to the client list page, you see? To the help directly related to the client list page.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely. Like if I'm on, I don't know, some other part of the system, if I'm on that page there, I'm in a session page now. And if I go help, it'll go to the session form, you see? And a video, look, 5-minute video explaining all about it,
Oh, okay.
Right, so there's lots and lots of help throughout the program that should stop you getting stuck with anything,
Yeah.
Is that okay?
That's brilliant, Bill. Can I just ask you one more question?
Of course, yeah.
I am going to be volunteering at a school. I don't know if you know David Njai. Do you know him, David? But anyway, he works in a school, and he as their one of their therapists. They've got about 15, but of all different types. So I'm going to be working with children. So I couldn't do all this with children, could I?
No.
So you can't email them and stuff.
No, so what you would do with children, let me go back. I've stopped sharing. Let me go back in and I'll show you what to do.
Yeah.
HDI admin. Right. So if I find a test, I'll just use my test client here. There we go. Right. So let's say this build demo one was a test. What was it? A kid at the school, right?
Yeah.
Now, what you would do with the kid at the school in profile, you wouldn't have any email address, right? So that would be blank. This doesn't look like a valid email address. Yeah, no, I don't want that there. That's fine. So that would be blank, and you'd have
Yeah.
none of this. You wouldn't be bothered about any of that. You'd fill in their age, their whatever, like that, right?
Yeah.
And you'd save the record like that. Now, let's suppose that kid was having a session. God, the internet's so slow. Come on, wake up. Right. So supposing they're having a session tomorrow at, I don't know, at 1400 hours. Right?
Yeah.
It's a therapy session. Sorry, therapy session, right? Now, with kids, first of all, the measures. How old are these children?
So they'll be 11 to 10, 14.
Okay, 11 to 14. So you would use the CORS with them.
Okay.
Or you could use the YP core as well. There's more measures here than you can see, but I'll make sure you've got YP core available and CORS. You could use YP core. That would be fine.
Okay.
YP core is for teenagers, right? Now, so let me just change this to YP core. Will you be able to have your laptop in the room with you?
I hope so. I'll check with David when I go back, but I'm gonna take a iPad anyway.
An iPad. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So when you go into that, kid, if that's the appointment, you click to open the appointment, you scroll down and you go open remote measure there like that, right?
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
there's no phone or emails, you can't do that. So you can open remote measure and then you can hand the iPad to the client, right?
Okay.
And I felt edgy and nervous, etc., etc. And they will fill them in on the iPad or whatever you give them.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then
Yeah.
when you get to the end, you'll have to log back in and you'll see their scores, you know?
Fantastic.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's brilliant. It's really helpful.
Yeah. It might be an idea. It might be an idea if you want to be able to try to identify these cases as children separate to your other clients, you might put a suffix like, I don't know, the name of the school or like, what's the school called?
Hammersmith Academy.
You could put HA hyphen name of child, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to easily search for just HA to get all your kids all in one place, you see?
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay. All right. So
All right.
that should get you going, and hopefully that'll keep you out of trouble for a while. And when I stop this, it'll make a recording, and I'll send it to you tomorrow or the day after. You know, as soon as I get around, I've got to put it onto YouTube to make a link for you. You know.
Yeah, there's no rush. There's no
Okay.
rush. Yeah. Brilliant, Bill. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Thank
Not
you.
at all. Hope that's helpful.
That's very helpful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
See you
you.
again.
Nice to meet you. Okay.
Yeah, you too.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.